Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 23 of the Path to Exile podcast. I'm Cal Torek, and joining me per usual is Miso Shiro and Dead Rabbit. And if you're new here, reminder we are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So if you like the audio only format, you can watch us there. And yeah, we got the fun little holiday themed episode. We're all wearing some form of holiday themed get up. Rabbit's got ornaments on his headphones, and yeah, we just wanted to spread some holiday cheer. It's been a very fun year of Path of Exile 2. We just passed the 1 year anniversary, and I can't believe we're already 23 episodes in. That is crazy how like this has just flown by so fast. It's fun to be hanging out with you guys. I'm glad we made the time to just do this during the holidays. How has your leagues been going? How has your holiday week been going? Let's start with Miso.
I would say that League so far has been very good. I have to say that so far I'm actually having one of the most fun times this league compared to any other league that I've had. Like, last week we were like pretty negative about like the temple stuff, but like we said, right? The league is good. The league mechanic was not great. Um, but I think that overall, I really, really enjoy the league right now. I like, and also they made it so the temple mechanic is like very good. I guess I don't know if that makes sense. Like they have updated the temple mechanic to be just like absolutely popping off right now. But there's also like some not so great parts. Let's just say. But we can maybe discuss those a little bit.
Yeah, my experience with the temple has been very bad. Just to preface this, I have had a fantastic league start, and in terms of making currency, this has been like my most profitable league. I've actually started like I'm using this league to teach myself crafting, so I've started farming bases. I'm using the Prada filter, and I just started teaching myself farming braces, and I'm actually making before even before that I was making a lot of currency, and like I've just this felt league has felt like overall just amazing to me. But my experience with the temple has been miserable for the fact that I have 6 characters already, and your temple progress is not shared. It is very tedious getting a good temple set up on any character. You have to farm. You have to initially start with farming the architect to build up all the juice to get the stuff you want for the what do they call the tablets. And when you have that many characters, you're almost incentivized to like, oh, you just got to it the temple part in the map. Let me teleport out, log over to the character I want to farm temple on, so I can get the temple juice, then log back over to the character. Like it's just for someone with multiple characters, it has been miserable, and for someone who doesn't like to watch guides, it has also been fairly a miserable experience. My first 3 characters, I bricked my temple on, just not like I didn't want to. I was being an asshole to myself by refusing to watch any guides, but I bricked my temple many times. It's a lot. It's a really long process to have all the rooms to stabilize. It just essentially involves farming the architect and then letting the rooms fall off slowly without adding new ones. It hasn't been a fun temple experience for me at all. I look at how people are playing temple now, and I think that looks freaking awesome and fun when it gets polished. Like if it isn't such a pain in the ass to get what they're doing set up with like any of the setups that are done, it looks awesome. But I have yet to experience that myself, and just as someone who's re-rolling so much, it's been absolutely awful. Yeah.
Yeah, if to someone that is playing multiple characters, the temple is not it's not it. I don't know who I talked to quickly on stream today. I think it was Pulse Run or something, because there was this whole thing today, and this also goes into the whole temple discussion on its own. How the setup is structured at the moment with the temple, because yes, when you actually know what you're doing, and when you're able to set the temple up in the most optimal way, it is kind of crazy right now. Today I had like a big thing on my stream today. And if you look at other streams right now, the temple is absolutely crazy. People are going there's people going 30 plus divs per temple run and stuff like that, like 27. I just before the podcast, I watched someone do like 27 divines doing a temple. The problem is that under normal circumstances, you would never have these setups. That is, I mean, in the same time frame, that's just not possible. But I think we do this discussion a little bit later or something.
No, just dive in.
I think
just let it flow.
Yeah. So I think Palstron was saying as well today that he's playing too many characters, and then the temple is just like it's not it, and it's just like super super tedious. My experience just was, and this is completely off. Like we started this obviously with the whole like how's the league going. I think the league is amazing. The league is absolutely amazing. As someone who enjoys min maxing, as someone who enjoys making different kinds of builds, as someone who enjoys especially ground loot, I always say, we had this in the podcast like multiple times now, where we had like certain discussions around this topic and whatever, and my biggest thing always is just ground loot. I want to be able to play the game no matter what I do, whether I'm mapping, whether I'm doing whatever, abyss, breach, I don't care. I want to have the experience of having stuff fall on the ground, making a nice little sound, and then being like, oh my god, Hyries Ire, that's 15 div. Today I dropped Vertex helmet, 20 div. Then I had the excitement of being able to do the corruption on that, and it's like, oh my god, it's destroyed now. I lost 20 div. But I feel like I don't think we've had, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like we've had a league so far where, especially some uniques and some other ground loot as well, felt as good, because there's actually a bunch of stuff right now that is an automatic like 10 plus div or whatever when it drops on the floor. There's so many like little things. It's not just divines, it's like all these kinds of stuff. Like before, all the temple craziness, and it completely dropped in price now. The Vaal cultivation orb was like a nice little thing where you could go like in the temple. I think ground loot is in an amazing state, and as someone who especially plays ARPGs for that, it has been probably my favorite league so far, because I feel like even though I'm doing a super crazy build now, and it is definitely what some people would say it's a streamer build, and it's like an unattainable build or whatever, but I really enjoy this league so much right now, because it feels like when you get an item that is close to perfect, or that is like well rolled or whatever, it feels like a special thing, which I desperately, desperately missed last league, because last league, through the homogenizing crafting and everything, we kind of lost that a little bit. And I get the people saying that the homogenizing omen is needed or whatever, or crafting in a certain way is needed, and it definitely is. But I think that GGG removed the homogenizing omen just shows that they realized, oh, this was the right idea, but it was just a little bit too far, and they are just gonna think about something new, I think, in that regard. I think it is awesome right now. Apart from the temple stuff right now, I had like a big rant today. I don't want to take up too much more time now, because we are going to talk about the temple. I would like to hear your guys' opinion more, or what you have experienced so far with the temple, because I got incredibly frustrated today when it came to the whole temple discussion, because I still don't know, and this is going to sound very harsh. And thank God I just said that I think this league is amazing, and it is it is awesome, and I'm still extremely positive about the game. That is the preface to that. I don't know why we even have the temple still. We got, and I'm gonna use this analogy again. We needed tires on the car. We didn't need a new fancy stereo. It is, I still don't get it. And this whole situation right now, with people being able to reset over and over again, people selling boosts to get the crystals for the temple, so you can get 10 temple runs in like 30 minutes, and then as opposed to doing it the normal way of having to painstakingly get the crystals and taking like days and weeks for a setup that people can now do with that Holten reset. I don't think it's an exploit. People are calling it an exploit. It's not an exploit.
Stop.
You shouldn't be banned for doing it. I'm not judging anyone for doing it. It's a video game. I don't care, but it's just like, I don't, and it just, I'm like going super long here. I'm so super sorry. But it just added to my whole point of last week's podcast and the podcast before that, where I'm just like, did we solve a problem now, or was this something added to the game that like improves everything? Because I feel like they just loaded more stuff onto them now. Now they're gonna have to think about a fix for the temple and everything, and this is just gonna take a time away from the thing that we actually wanted, which was more endgame and like a functioning endgame loop. And the temple is just it is that now because people can abuse the Holten thing. So I was like really, really frustrated today because I'm just so confused why we have the temple. I don't get it. I'm not saying it's bad, it's awesome, but we needed other stuff, I think.
Well, I think the game has a real crisis of identity. Like I talk about this all the time. Everyone treats this game and what you're talking, like your mentality about how the league mechanic has released. It is the mentality of this is a finished product. This is a full-fledged league that is done. I think this league mechanic is the perfect example of PoE 2 being an early access game. It's not finished. It's like they threw this out there, and I'm assuming they just needed it tested, and this is just like the early development stages of it. Like, to me, when I think about it, like, should it have not been added? I feel like they're going to like. What would they have gotten if they delayed it? Like, let's just say they delayed it till January or February. Like, what would that 2-month delay have fixed about the Vaal Temple, right? Like, it probably would have released in a similarly bad state until the players like got their hands on it and the Fub Gun. Like no one should be getting mad at Fub Gun. I think the GGD devs probably love what he does. He's the guy that finds all these holes and stuff. Like, that's what these things are for. I think it is a really unpolished and like it should not have been released this early because of how like unpolished and unfinished it looks. But I get why they like want to do this, just because like maybe I'm the only one that still I feel like I'm the only one that still says gives them the early access defense. Like that I feel like I'm the only one that's still on that hill. But like to me, this is an example of an early access game. Like this is what you expect from an early access game. But everything else about the game is just so good that you stop thinking of it that way. So I'm not disagreeing with anything you just said, but that's just like I do like still think of it as like it is just unfinished, and maybe that's how they're operating when they throw something like this out. That's just I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's just I'm just confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. It's a crisis of identity that they're putting on the game by operating this way. Like it's mixed signals across the board.
Yeah. I mean, it's not entirely the player faults either, because I think they also treat the game as like not an early access game in many ways. So it's like, how do you expect the players to treat the game as early access when you, as the devs, don't treat it really as an early access game either? So it's a tough situation. But about the temple, it's funny because like I actually am, have really turned around on the temple in terms of what I think about it and how I like it, because I actually have come to really like the temple in many ways.
You have a good setup?
No, I don't. My setup is still, because I'm not doing the Holten stuff. I'm just playing it as it is and setting it up as we go. But I think that that's part of the fun part. It's like every time I go into the temple, it's like opening a card pack, and like being like, do I have what I need? Like it's like an exciting thing. It's like, oh, I finally get to go back in. Let's go. My temple gets to get built a little bit more this time. Let's go. Usually it doesn't happen because I'm gonna open a dud pack. But like, when it hits, I'm like, yes, finally, let's go. Like I don't know. I get really excited about it, and like when I start setting up, when I start seeing it grow, and like start seeing the monsters get stronger, and like getting more rare monsters and stuff like that, I'm just like, okay, we're kind of building something. We're kind of making something happen. So it's like I'm actually it's funny because all these people are like trying to rush through this part, whereas I'm like enjoying this part of like actually slowly building my temple. So it's like interesting, right? But I definitely like completely agree with the take, and it's kind of crazy because some people disagree with my take last night, and I felt so vindicated when I woke up today and I opened up my Twitter, my X, and I saw Ziz tweet about the same exact thing. But I was like, I don't really
What did he tweet?
Well, I'll show it on stream in a little bit, but for me, I was like, I don't necessarily hate Temple and how it is. I agree with Dead Rabbit in that, with the whole wheel.
It's good.
The whole wheel analogy, right? The wheel versus the stereo, which I've used many times on the stream at this point. That analogy, like I don't necessarily like I don't dislike the temple at all. It's actually a fun mechanic, and I think there's a lot of people who really like this type of stuff, and it's great that we have it. But at the same time, I think that for me, there's a couple problems with it that I think that I would have liked to see them address. And it's probably hard because like they had limited time and stuff like that. But like one, I think that there is too much setup to the temple to actually start having fun for most people. Most people aren't weird like me and like treat opening up the temple as like open up a freaking card pack and like are excited by that. Most people want to like be able to actually play the mechanic, go in there and just have fun with the mechanic without the whole setup, right? They and like even if there is setup, it's like the other problem is that it takes too long to set up. Like not only does the setup take a lot of rooms, but like it also takes 6 maps for you to go into. Of course, now we have the Holten stuff, right? But that's not, I would not say that's how it was intended to be played, let's just say, right?
You can only do that if you're like at level, by the way, or if you're paying someone who's at level to farm it for you. So it's like it's not even
Yeah.
feasible once you're over leveled. So
Yeah, and it's not feasible to do it like between characters either. Like if you want to play it, do it on your character, you need to pay somebody to like bust you in there. But I was saying that I would have loved to have seen instead of them making the temple more rewarding, right? The problem always was time investment versus reward, right? People kept going like, oh, you know, now you see how powerful temple is. Now you're saying it's OP when it was fine before. I was like, no. So the temple was like after the initial buff, like I think the buff that took it off the rails was probably the most recent one where they massively increased the amount of like rares and stuff in the temple. But like the problem for me with the temple was always time investment versus reward, right? You need to invest way too much time for a reward that wasn't equal to the amount of time that you invested in it. And I think that now it's at a point where like if you invest the time, you do get the crazy rewards, which is it makes sense. But then I think it got taken over the top when we got the Holten stuff, where it's like now you don't have to invest the time into it, but now you're getting the crazy reward. But I would have loved to have seen it to where it was you could go into the temple more often and you could build the temple a lot faster, but you know, the rewards just weren't as good. Again, you're lowering the amount of time that it takes, but also making the rewards like equally lowered, I guess, if that makes sense. That way you're getting to interact with the mechanic more and having more fun. Like the whole thing for me is like there's so much busy work, so much complication that goes into the building temple that not only is it really complicated for a lot of people to get set up, right? And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's very simple. It's like, it's really basic, right? But the thing is, you gotta understand, most people playing the game aren't gonna be watching like a full video on like a guide of like every single thing on like how to build the temple. I think like Ziz talked about it as well on his review of the temple, where it was that seems like a very PoE1 mechanic, not very PoE2, because building it is not very straightforward. Like not only does it take 6 maps for you to actually go into the temple once, you might never even like you might get a thaumaturge one time, right? And then you might not get another one for 7 or 8 temples. And then you're like, well, I really wanted to figure out what upgrades the thaumaturge, but I can't seem to roll into it. Like, so it's like even if you wanted to dive into it, it's like really hard to actually get to the point of learning every single little thing. So it's like both complicated and not straightforward, and also like just very convoluted and like very annoying to kind of interact with it sometimes. Again, I like Temple. I'm a fan of it, but it's not a very PoE2 mechanic. And I'll pull the tweet up that Ziz has on the screen right now. It says, "I'm not sure if this is a hot take, and I see how insanely rewarding the temple can be, but is it crazy? I wish that just playing the mechanic was better, and you didn't need to set up another betrayal type mechanic. It's easy enough for me to since playing the game is a full-time job, but I can't help but feel that much setup to start is a bit too much." Quick take? Yeah,
Yes.
and that's exactly what I was saying on stream. That again,
Yes.
there's too much stuff preventing you from actually having fun. There's too many layers, too many steps preventing you from actually starting to have fun for this mechanic. And I wish they would have like lowered the amount of time it takes to set up the mechanic and let you do it more often, but also equally lower like the rewards. So I
Before
would have
Rabbit
loved.
dives in, I just want to say that I think that solution is coming in next patch when we have the Atlas tree for it. Because for Delve works the exact same way, where over time, as you evolve the Atlas and then you spend more time in the Delve, you're able to like get passives that let you spend less time in maps, and then also alternatively spend more time inside of Delve. I think that will probably be coming in 0.5 of the Atlas passives. That's what I've been saying. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Rabbit.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I think there's just Miso.
Yeah, before you go into it, I completely agree with that. That's probably going to happen, but I would have loved to see like Abyss League,
I
where
agree.
Abyss League comes in,
Yeah.
it's a goddamn banger, and then now with the
Yes.
Atlas, it's even better.
Yes.
So my question,
And it's
real
just
quick,
like,
is then. Sorry, go ahead.
no, and it's just like no matter if you play 2 hours every day or you play this game as a job and 14 hours every day. It's just you have Abyss on your map, you do it, and it's good. I don't need every single league mechanic to be like that. I don't need every single league mechanic to be brain off, it works, blah blah blah. There can be like stuff to get into, but after Cal says his point, I'll like say why I think Vaal Temple in its current form is just like the most, I don't know how to say it, but like the most casual and like that gamer and like more not playing this game as a job gamer, but still enjoy the game unfriendly ever. It's so unfriendly towards that type of player. Even that I, as someone, Cal, sorry, go first before I start.
Well, I only wanted to ask you guys a question, was like, because I don't know, I have like the development side of brain, and to me, like when I see a system like this, I just imagine that like, yes, it sucks right now, but we're making it a lot better with the feedback that we're giving. Like the Palstron
Yeah.
tweet, the Ziz tweet. Like, so, like, do
Yeah.
you think it was a bad idea for them to release this like this is? Or do you think that it is okay? Like, would you have rather them not released it with, like, if we just didn't get the Vaal Temple, like, they're like, there's no league mechanic, guys. Would you have preferred no league mechanic as opposed to what we have right now? That's the question I want to ask.
Me personally, yes. I said this on the podcast last week. I don't know if it was a try or the Destin or whatever interview, but Jonathan was asked the question why instead of the endgame overhaul that was kind of promised for the 0.4, we even got a league mechanic, and he said this is what gets people to play the league. And I have to say I just disagreed with that. I think Druid and a endgame overhaul and like a lot of fixes to the systems that we have right now in terms of endgame would have also brought back a lot of people. I heavily disagree with the whole point that the Vaal Temple was the main driver for people to come to this league. I don't think it was. I think the home run for this league is the Druid and everything else apart from the Vaal Temple that was adjusted and worked on. So yeah, I that's
we're
not
talking
me
about
saying,
doing a
and every
private
time,
league with local. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, every time I'm saying this about the Vaal Temple, I'm not saying that it's bad. Like I agree with Miso 100%. I think the Vaal Temple is awesome, especially if you know what you're doing and if you're getting into it and whatever. The design, the Ciri boss, although it's like for some reason one of the I have map bosses with 12 million HP and Ciri has 2.5. For some reason, I don't get that. But apart from that, the temple is awesome. I'm not saying the temple is bad. I think just the timing was wrong. I think if we got the whole Vaal League mechanic when the game was in a more actually finished state when it comes to the endgame loop and whatever it is, I think everyone would have been. And now it's kind of a situation where they did give us like an amazing, theoretically amazing league mechanic that I put a lot of work into, and that has to be respected. And most people are just up until today with the Holten thing and whatever, and making the temple like crazy like that. Everyone was just like, eh. And I don't know. I don't think that's it then.
Yeah. It's actually funny, and I can already see the people in the comments be like, "Oh, at Siri, she scales with the map mods, just or like the mods in the temple. Just scale up your temple mods, and she's harder, right?" Well, it's like one, I don't think that affects her loot at all. Like, it doesn't affect what she drops and what she gives. So like, why would you
Little
purposefully
like apparently
like
effectiveness does, but you can't scale that much because if you are continuously always
exactly,
doing it Siri, you'll reset your temple anyway. You can't
exactly?
scale up that much.
It's
You
like
have to
both.
decide. Are
It's
you
like
gonna do at
twofold.
Siri or are you gonna scale up your temple?
It's like twofold. It's like, it doesn't affect it that much, if at all. I don't know. I haven't experimented with it yet. But two, it's like if you're trying to run temple to buy, like if you're trying to scale the actual like effectiveness and all the map mods, then you're quickly going to be dismantling the rest of your map anyways, your temple anyways. So it like counteracts itself. So yeah, it's not the best designed in that way either. Um,
Can you answer how would you prefer to have not had it?
Yeah, I mean, I said that last week as well, and I'll say
Even
it
though
again.
right now you're still having a lot of fun with it,
Oh
you would
yeah,
prefer it
like
gone.
I think that like we're all about variety of gameplay, right? And like gameplay for different type of people. There's people who love this mechanic. Even before it got good, Cute Dog was sitting in his stream like just going ham
Yeah,
on
he was.
temple. He was running tier 1 maps trying to get like his temple set up at the beginning before all these buffs happened. So like there's people who love this stuff and like I like it too. But, so it's not like I don't like this and I don't think that there's a place for this, but I completely, again, to the wheel conversation, right? The wheel versus car thing. I think like this isn't the time for this type of league mechanic, and we needed the end game stuff more than the temple.
Right. So the
What it
question
brought.
isn't like, should we have gotten Vaal Temple or the end game rework? The question is, should we have gotten Vaal Temple or nothing at all? Is the having the
Oh, or
Vaal
nothing
because
at all.
we weren't getting the end game rework. We weren't getting that. So it was, would you like, is the Vaal Temple so disruptive to the gameplay environment right now that you would have rather had it not at all? Then because we weren't getting the end game rework like that, like like the Vaal Temple wasn't traded for the end game rework. They couldn't make the end game rework, and they're like, okay, well now you're just getting the Vaal Temple as something. Like there
Well, I
wasn't,
mean, I
there was
feel
no
like the
trade
Val
off
Temple
there
was probably planned.
to be a part of the end game rework, but it wasn't considered like as the full thing. Like I don't
Like
think.
I would have rather have them have given us a partial end game rework than anything. Because again, you got to use
Well, that's not
that
the question. That's
time.
not the question, though. The
I know,
question is
but
like,
I'm saying well, and in my mind,
I agree
I
with you.
didn't.
By the way, I agree with you. By the way, that I would have rather a partial end game rework too, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess if you're asking me if I would rather have nothing versus the Vaal Temple, I actually would rather the Vaal Temple, even in its current state. I mean, GG has plenty of experience, like plenty of times in the past where they come out with a league mechanic and it's not very good, and they fixed it over time. And I think it is slowly but surely getting fixed. Like again, I think the biggest harm or like the biggest like thing that impacted the Vaal Temple and its current state is the Holten
Yes.
exploit, whatever it is. But like before that, I think it was fine. Like people who were investing their time they were getting like good rewards. People who weren't investing their time were just doing ad series runs, right? But now it's like everybody who just spends a little bit of time in this little Holton thing can just super cash out on the reward, and they didn't even like really interact with the mechanic the way it was supposed to interacted with anyways. So I think that to me was the biggest issue with the temple in its current state. I actually, again, last week I was like, the temple's in a really good state. I actually really like it. Again, I would prefer it if they had made it so that you could interact with it more and like run it more often and have the rewards be lower. But
Yes.
it's like, it's again, it's a choice of making it this way or that way, right? I think it was still in a good spot, in a good place, but the exploit really, the quote unquote exploit, really just took it like off rails. And I also
Yep.
want to talk a little bit about like what we were talking about earlier about Jonathan saying that, oh, the league mechanic, we need it or else people aren't going to play. one, again, goes back to the conversation about like, hey, let's treat this game like an early access, right? Who cares if people aren't coming back league
Right.
after league? Like your job is not to like right now, your job right now is not to get as many players to play the game as possible. Your job is to get the game in a good place so that when the players come, they get to play a very high quality game, which it already is, but like as high quality of game as possible, as opposed to now where they're trying to get these players in. And like maybe a lot of players who played this game, this league, right, are like, whoa, what is going on here? This game's a goddamn mess. Like, whereas opposed to if they didn't attract those players right now or like try to bring those players in right now, they might have naturally experienced the game later on when the game actually comes out when it's in a better state. I always said that, and I completely I continue to stand on that. And also, let's take a look at the numbers, and it might just be because there is a very limited amount of data points right now, but which league had more players? The league that did not have a new, that the league that was focused around the end game, league that was focused around fixing a lot of the problems, the league that didn't have a new class, 0.3, even though it wasn't like, because like you would think like, it's not like the situation right now where everybody hopped in and then like, oh, Temple kind of sucks, and then everybody started falling off, right? It was everybody hopped in on day one, and the peak was way higher than the peak for this league because people were excited about all the changes coming, fixing a lot of the problems, and not because of a new class or like a new whatever, right? Because nobody knew Abyss was going to be like popping off, right? Nobody knew Abyss was going to be like that much fun, but everybody knew like about the end game changes and like what they're doing to like change like crafting and whatever. Everybody knew about that, and and then they all hopped in and logged in for all that stuff. So it's like, at least in the history right now, we can see that the Temple, the league mechanic, didn't really bring that many people in, but the one that did have significant changes to the end game, changing a lot of the problems, adding in crafting, right? That was the one that got a lot of people playing.
Yeah. I want to say that I do completely agree with like Rabbit's stance on like, and but it's both your stances, but like, we don't need league mechanics to play this game. We like anyone playing this game in its current state is just yes, eventually yes, by one point for sure. But right now, like if you just did a complete re-league start, I would do fresh characters in a fresh economy right now. Like I would do it. Alcohol is literally talking about setting up a private league to just get like a fresh start going because of like all the craziness going on with the Holten stuff. Like people like doing fresh starts, and I don't think the end game mechanic I completely agree. And my stance on it is that like I don't know, we were talking about this before. Like Rabbit and I were like begging them to not release until January because we knew something like this would happen. Someone's gonna find something stupid right when they're on holiday break, and we're gonna deal with this for weeks. Like, what are we fucking doing? So like my stance is we shouldn't have had the Vaal Temple if it was released in this is going to be really blunt, this shit and unpolished of a state. It is so it's just not ready for it to just be released to the community and then like you're not able to like monitor and update it daily. Like it was not this is a very bad and unpolished mechanic, and I think it was forced out way too early for sure. And I agree with you both that if we got no league mechanic, I would still be banging out this league because I'm not even using it. I have too many characters. The fucking league mechanic sucks for me. I'm sorry I'm cursing too much, but that's just how I really don't like Temple, just because it's ruined. Like I've not even gotten to interact with it really. So, and every time I tried to interact with it, like it was very frustrating week one, just bricking your temple constantly and just not like. Like it's funny because Mark said, what was it, Mark? I think it was Mark that said you could just put buildings wherever you want. Like we'll telegraph it for you, and then it'll be completely done easily. It's like if you do that, no, you're gonna lose, and you're gonna lose hard. So I hate it. I hate it, and it should not have been released in its current state, especially if it's not account wide. Why isn't it an account?
Yeah, that's yeah. I wish it was. I don't know why it's not account wide. It doesn't make any sense that you have to. Like it takes so much time to set up a temple. Now you're gonna play a new character and it's just like gone. It's like what? All that hard work I put into it, like, and I just can't.
The architect juice should be global at least. Like, it's crazy you have to farm architect all that time, just like because you don't want to start building your temple until you farmed architect. So
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't understand it, and
It
it
is
makes no
just
sense.
there is so many things about this mechanic. Like I, I, I think I talked about the stuff that I like in the temple. I think the temple is overall in a finished game or a polished game. It's gonna be an amazing league mechanic for everything because of all the implications that it has, like the Vaal infusion stuff, the cultivation
Yeah.
stuff, all the double corruption, the new Vaal uniques, and everything. All of that stuff is amazing. At this stage of the game, it just had like multitudes of different things that it impacted now, especially for what we describe or what we would say is the more casual player, the people that cannot um, invest the time that all the streamer sphere and all the no lifer sphere, the sweaty sphere, whatever you want to call it. First of all, the first thing that was like bad for that was how unintuitive, and that is what Cal was talking about the temple, how unintuitive it is, and how it's not really that self-explanatory. And I think a lot of people are like Cal; they don't want to before going into a league mechanic of a video game. They play on the weekends or they play every night to calm down a little bit after work or whatever. I personally, and there might be people that want that, and I fully understand that, but I personally, when I was in that stage of my life, I didn't want to watch a 30-minute video explaining a video game mechanic to me so I can properly and functionally do that. So that is the first thing to me. I don't think it is intuitive enough to have people that just want to wing it a little bit in a way where they can also then have fun with the mechanic and profit off of it and have fun with it. But at the same time, I think even though if something is intuitive, it doesn't mean that it has to be so simple that someone who then wants to invest some time into it and figure out like all the small details and whatever, and then be like even more advanced at it. I don't think those two things are not like excluding from another. Just because something is intuitive and kind of simple doesn't mean that it cannot then be something for a person like me who can invest the time or wants to invest the time or whatever, like that. That is number two. I think why I think this was like a super bad thing for the more casual audience, which is a huge audience for Period 2. And like the third thing is one of the worst things for player retention in Period 2, and I'm just looking like at numbers for the past leagues and whatever. The worst thing for player retention in most cases is that people feel like the economy is running away from them, and that most people play trade. I know if you're like um if you're saying to me now that that's such a bad point because you can just play SSF. No, most people play trade. That's just a fact. And like I said, one of the biggest reasons for people just quitting out the league, and I see this every single day in my stream of people just saying like this is the number one reason why I quit, is that the economy and everything is just running away from them because they are always feel behind. They are trying to do like a certain build or whatever, or they're trying to wing it a little bit, but it will cost currency. And now we have a situation again, again, where in like 2 days, I'm telling you right now, if it can be fixed tomorrow, the whole Holten thing, what I've seen on other streams today has been absolute craziness, and I'm seeing it already. I'm tracking like prices on stuff every day. It's like my hobby. I'm telling you, the economy for this league is done already. And I've seen so many people already today, and I think after Christmas and after New Year's, we are gonna see a massive drop of players. I'm calling it now. There's going to be a massive drop of a vast majority of players out of the league because not everyone is doing this whole thing of now giga juicing the temple and spending 12 hours a day and just like doing it. For the past 2 days on my stream, I had a 10-hour stream yesterday and a 9-hour stream today where I was just doing the map strategy, and I was just doing maps yesterday the normal way and getting the temple. I'm not even at 60 crystals yet on the architect. I'm not even at 60 crystals yet. I've yet to build like a Giga Juice temple or whatever, because you need the right setup and you need to start building like the snake or whatever it's called. And today, then I decided, okay, now I'm going to actually rush maps and see that I can just speed it up a little bit and get more. I'm still not much further. I can't imagine how it is for someone who doesn't have the time to do it like that. And it's just now, on top of that, the economy is flooded with like massive amount of currency. If you don't believe me, just watch some of the like streams right now where people are doing like the Giga Juice temple, because they were able to set up the temple with 60 crystals in like half an hour and whatever. It's absolutely crazy, and you will see it. And it's just once again something that is just bad for the normal player, which is like a big part of it. I just don't get this. We had the same thing in how many leagues now? We had the ritual thing last league. The league before that, I think. We had the Temporalis dupe and the Mirror dupe in the 0.1 league, also over Christmas. And
over Christmas too. They did it again over Christmas. Like, come on.
It's like, even though like, it's not bad for me, especially the situation right now. It's theoretically not bad for me. I could do I could do that all day now. I just wanted to see how it is for someone who can't do it, even though I have the ability to do rush maps with the Temporalis build or whatever. I can't imagine how it is if you're running a normal build. You can forget about Temple, but it does affect you. The economy does affect you, but because the same people that are able, even if you're like doing a very good farming strat or whatever, you're doing like, you could do like 10, 20 raw divines or something if you play for a few hours and you get like citadel hopping, or you do like a good breach and abyss setup with like good tablets, or you do the rogue exile strat or whatever. You're just getting blown out of the water by six party players or like solo people with a Juice fucking temple with 5,000+% rare monsters and effectiveness on the stuff, getting 40 divines in a temple run, and then the one item that you see as your upgrade for like 10 divine yesterday, tomorrow is gonna be 40 divines. So I'm just mad because I'm just I don't know. That this happened again now. I'm just confused by it. And once again, I'm not judging anyone for doing the strategy, because it's fun. Of course it's fun. Like, you get a Giga Juice temple, you get like 50,000 divines. I don't care. I'm not judging you for that. I just think it's how I get that it's Christmas, but can't GGG like have one emergency guy or something that can do like an emergency? I don't know. That can economy is ruined once again. I'm me personally. I'm probably doing SSF hardcore or like a private league very, very soon now, because I don't like this is. I think a lot of people will just quit now. This league.
It'll be bad because, like you said, we'll have to see how long this lasts and what the damage is going to be. But there's no way, like, +4 Vertex is my chase item right now for like the last week, and there's no way is it going to be over a mirror soon? Probably. Like, I'm never going to be able to play with it. And I had a very specific build I was wanting to use for it. So it's like,
you want chaos res and critical hit chance with a +4, or you don't care about chaos res or crit?
I want crit. I need crit. I don't care about the chaos.
Yeah, then it's fine. Then it's fine.
Okay, cool. Then we'll see, but we'll see how much we make. Like, to me, I never feel that FOMO. Like, there's always that. Like, every league, I feel like I see the current.
Sorry to interject. I just checked mine. Okay, like, sorry, to my point. Vertex with +4 all skills and crit chance. Just any crit chance, 20%, low rolled. Few days ago was like 30 divines. 2 days ago, I think. It's 200 now. If you want crit and chaos res, it's 400.
It's gonna be a bit.
Is it because
that was gonna go up?
I bought mine 2 days ago, 48 hours ago, for 100 divine.
Yikes!
Any more proof for like hyperinflation in 2 days? Because of one buggy interaction or like one possible reset or whatever?
It's bad. Yeah, it sucks. Like, even now though, like, it doesn't, like, I just a little bit sad. I know this bothers a lot of people really bad. Like, you see it all the time. Just like every league, someone's complaining about how much currency Fub's making, and like I never feel that FOMO.
Yeah,
but like
and you should, and no one should.
This is a difference though. This is different, like with how it's just like hyperinflating the economy. Like, it just depends on how long it lasts. I guess we'll see if it gets. I don't think it's getting patched this week.
If you're playing trade, even if you don't have the FOMO yourself, it will eventually affect you, and that's my whole point. I'm not saying like you should care about what other people are doing, and like I said, I don't judge, or I don't care if anyone is doing it. The thing is, it will affect the players. It just will. If you're playing trade, it will affect you, because people are gonna be waking up tomorrow, or like after Christmas, or after like New Year's break or whatever, and gonna come back to the league or whatever, and go like, "Yo, what? I can't even buy like."
Well, who's gonna return for 4.1? Like when they do the if we get a 0.4.1 update, like who would like that's like a lot of my friends. I have like a lot of people like in mods in the Thorns Discord who are just like off meta weird build creators. Usually they're like 10 to 12 builds deep in every league, and most of them have quit by now. Like one build Andes right now, and whenever we get a 0.4.1, and you're like, well, I'm gonna come back and make a fun build, and you look up the pricings on item, and it's like, oh, I didn't play the beginning of the league, so I quit like week 1. I only have like 10 divine to my name, and now everything's 50 to 100 divine. It's it's bad. I didn't realize how bad the Holten exploit was. I don't watch that kind of stuff, but if it's as bad as
it's not an exploit.
Like
Once again,
yeah, sorry,
it's not an exploit.
We say exploit.
It's not an exploit.
I don't know.
Once again,
I would say that there's a good argument for it being an exploit. It's probably not intended, right? It's probably not intended to be.
No, it's definitely not intended.
So 100%. If you're taking advantage of something that was not intended, I think that's an exploit. At least in my book.
I mean, yeah, it just depends on how you define it. It is very clear that it is unintended. Anyone who is trying to justify that it's like, oh, GGG wants you to do it this way, like you're kidding yourself. Absolutely. No. So. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that ever. I'm not gonna Holten farm. That's silly.
People are.
What do you have to do? How do you just die a bunch to lower your XP? I guess.
No,
that's what they're doing.
Can't. You can't.
No.
You have to make a new character. Or you have to buy a bus. Yeah, you have to make a new character, or you buy a bus.
99% of people are just paying other people that are on a low level character to zone them in over and over again.
Yeah.
And then that person, whenever they level up out of the range, they just go level a new character and start the service again.
No. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to get EXP. You just find it, and then you
people just zone in and invite you. That's it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's really bad.
And it's literally
really bad.
You spawn in the zone. You spawn at the checkpoint, and it's
like around the corner.
It's one corner. It's one corner to the Vaal thing. You kill the mobs. You get it.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. I would say it's not like Sanctum carries, it's like where you have to do work.
You get one crystal, right? And you need you can have up to 60 crystal. You get one crystal in, I would say, around 10 to 15 seconds. And my fastest crystal time today on my Temporalis build, where I was just rushing the maps, was like, I'd honestly say on a long setting, if you actually want to get to the 60 crystals, I'd probably say for 60 crystals you need an hour. Like if you're really fast on maps.
Are you doing the Grand Project strat?
No, I'm not doing the Grand Project. You can do that obviously, but no, I'm.
What is that? Just to pick better maps?
No. So basically, the problem with not using Grand Project, right? The normal problem is that if you want to do Temple, you do the Temple, and then you clear the map, and then you move on to the next map, right? Because if you don't clear the map, you can't move to the next map. But if you use a Grand Project, you don't have to clear the map.
You don't clear the map. You
just do the map. You just find. So you stack light radius so you can see more.
Yeah.
You find the temple. You finish the temple. You leave the map. You don't even worry about finishing it because the only problem normally is that if you don't kill the boss, you can't move to the next area. But you don't need to move to move to the next area because you have a Grand Project.
Cheesers, man.
Yeah.
Cheesers.
Again, I'm not that much slower than using the Grand Project because, I said, with my build, if you use on every single map, I know where the boss is. yeah, I know where the boss is. I'm at the boss in 30 to 60 seconds at the most. And then you see the Vaal thing as well. And it's like, this is a very, like, it's conservative estimate, I would say, at like 1 hour for like 60 crystals. I don't know. The difference is complete insanity. It is.
Low move speed. Like if I was playing Thorns this league, this would have been awful. Like that's like a 5-minute, 6-minute map clear. So it's like, yeah.
At that point,
And that's like, and there's like builds slower than that. So it's like, but I feel bad for the casuals. Like, yeah.
I don't know if it is, but I had like an interesting idea today that it's like it has to be in a way, in my opinion, it has to be in a way where if you're doing like the more juiced up your T15 maps are or something, you get like more energy for the Vaal Temple or whatever. I don't get how it's like always the same, whether you do a T1 map or a T15 map. A white T1 map gives the same amount of energy than a juiced up giga juice T15 map. I don't think that makes sense. I don't know. It's not a well thought out idea right now, but I think there's probably a way to do that in a way where it's more rewarding to people who actually also do the league mechanic. Because at the same time, if the tempo is rewarding, there will always be strategies of people finding like ways to get the crystals as much as possible or as fast as possible, right? So I get that too. There should be like a strategy for everything. I think that is what makes the game so interesting, like in a certain way. But yeah, it's just, and the whole my whole take or my whole comment about the economy now suffering very, very badly for a large majority of players is completely like disconnected from the whole temple. What I think about the temple. It could have been any mechanic that is broken, that is being abused like that, and I don't care. I still think the temple is great and will be amazing in PvE2. But what the whole situation today is just like it's just bad for trade league once again.
Yeah, I mean,
we will all see it. I'm being like Alex Jones of PvE2 right now or something. I don't know if that I'm not sure.
Don't make that comparison to yourself.
Yeah, it's like, because I'm saying like, oh, you're gonna see. Wake up, sheeple.
No,
you're gonna see. You're gonna see the inflation.
I mean,
I'm not even sure who that is. I just see memes. I'm not American enough, I think. I just know he's a conspiracy guy, so I was like, I'm the conspiracy person.
It's not a conspiracy. It's that this is a bad amount of economy. I don't know. My comparison is always like, to me, it's like Delve. Like I am someone who loves Delve from PoE1. I like a lot of people do not like the mechanics that take you out of the map. I can enjoy them, and when I see people who are farming, like Cute Dog, who sat in temple for days and shit, like that looks fun to me. If you're like if that was like more easy to access and stuff, like so. And with Delve, like I keep going the Delve rant, but the more you invest in the Delve and the more you invest in the time, the less you have to spend in maps, and the more you get to spend in Delve. I would love to live in the temple. I would love to live in the temple and just get to play in it nonstop. But like I'm not doing any of that. Like, it's so many maps to just get the charges just to have like an hour in there. Like you're spending 6 maps, which is like for some people 30 minutes, and then you're in the temple for 10. Like that trade-off is like the opposite of Delve. Like where in mapping in Delve, you spend, even from the start of it, you spend 2 minutes in mapping. You have to do like 1 to 2 maps total, and then you're in Delve for 30 minutes an hour. And in the late game, you do 3 to 4 maps, and you're in Delve for 4 to 5 hours. Like that is how it should be. Obviously, how much currency it's getting is absurd. If you're able to live down there, you should not be getting like, 40 div per run or whatever it is. That's crazy. But I also don't think it's that crazy if like 3 months into the league, someone who really min-maxed their temple was getting that kind of currency. 3 months into the league with a fucking beast of a temple that's super juiced.
By the way,
but that's too easy to do right now.
Q-Dog is a perfect example, because even before the whole thing got like known among the community and everything, how you can get the crystals so fast and everything, he was already like doing like all the work and doing like the theory crafting about the thing, and he was looking for like ways to get the crystals as fast as possible or whatever. I believe a person like Q-Dog, or especially him, like using him as an example right now, he would have been able to do this even without the bug or the what we like mistakenly or not mistakenly, I don't know, call exploit right now. And that is cool. That is
Agreed.
cool because that is what the game, that is min-maxing. That is what the game is about. That is cool. It just got shortcutted so much now. And that's just, yeah, it had like massive implications for like an overall game. But like I said, I don't fault like anyone for doing it now. I just wanted to see it in the way where, like, using that as an example, the way Q-Talk was doing it, and like, so. But like I said, at the same time, I don't fault him. At the same time, now just going with the easy way, because why not, right? But yeah, I would have liked to see what people would be able to do, and we will in the future, by the way, because that is another promise. This is not gonna last long. I would be surprised if they don't like call for an emergency like little hotfix for this in the next few days. I would be very surprised and a little bit disappointed if this stays for much longer, and then we will see people come up with like new strategies to get the crystals fast in maps or whatever. So we'll see. But now, I don't know if that is an English expression, but there's a German expression of the child has fallen into the well already. Is that something? Is that something
I know what you
people
mean.
say?
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a German expression, and German people can back me up in the comments. There's a German expression that's called "Das Kind ist in den Brunnen gefallen," which basically means the child has already fallen into the well, which basically means like, yeah, it's.
Yeah. Our
It's-
way of
it's
saying
done
is though
already.
there's no use in crying over
It's over.
spilled milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the one. Exactly.
Yeah.
Similar.
So yeah, because the milk is already spilled. But I mean, yeah, maybe this is ironic or whatever, but at the end of the day, we have to remember that this is an early access game and bugs like this will
Yeah.
happen.
Yes.
Yeah, no, my problem is if it was this unfinished, I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, if it was this unfinished and unpolished, why did you release it right before the holidays? That's like the goofball thing I keep going back to. Me and Rabbit were saying they should delay till January. If that wasn't going to happen, why was it released like this? And if we all say, I think all of us agree that we would have played, like, Druid's not hard carrying. The game just got, like, Druid is definitely carrying for the casuals, but I think just across the board, the game is just so much better. Like, I've never been a mapping. I think a few episodes ago, Miso straight up said to me, like, I just don't think you like mapping. I actually fucking love mapping this patch because it's just rewarding for the average guy who alks and goes. Like, I just gotta put 3 tablets in, and the rare tablets helped a lot. Like, despite all of this, like, I feel like, yeah, it would have been fine to release without this, though I am also with Miso that, like, if I wouldn't be re-rolling so much, I probably would be having a blast with the temple. It really is just a L that it's not account wide, because I'm starting a new Pathfinder right now, and I really want to, like, I like the character and I want to commit to it, but it's just like, should I even bother with the temple on it, or do I just only temple on my main? It's like, that's very depressing to me that I have to, like, decide that.
I didn't even think about that as a thing because like I was like, oh yeah, I'll just go and play because I'm making a new character now too. I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna interact with the temple much as I'm going through the campaign. I'm probably just gonna go and like after I finish, I'll just pick up where I left off. But I can't really do that because I gotta restart from the beginning. So that kind of sucks. Yeah, definitely shouldn't have done that. Definitely should have made it account wide. And I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking around that.
Delve is account wide, by the way.
There we go. Delve number 1. But yeah, we were going into some of the
best comparison point.
We were going into some of the good stuff about this league and starting to talk about like the positives, which I mean there are a lot of positives, especially like as you were saying that I don't know. This league, right? As I mentioned at the beginning, before all this stuff blew up, which is funny because I was gone for Christmas and then all this stuff blew up while I was gone, which is like, oh, okay. But before I left, I was just having the best time ever. Like, this league was so much fun. As a person who doesn't like to build rarity and just, I prefer not to build rarity. And a lot of times the build that I make can't build rarity, like my Wyvern Gemling. I was like, wow, I'm getting so many more drops than usual. I was like, is anybody feeling this? It's like, it was like really interesting because like in my chat, normally it's like, oh my God, I'm not getting any drops. This is terrible. Oh, I built rarity. Finally, I'm getting drops. It's like funny because I've had the opposite happen in chat where it's like, oh, I have 100% rarity and I feel no difference from when I had 0 rarity. So they definitely upped the baseline of drops and like how many drops you're getting in your maps, which is kind of, it felt actually pretty nice to a point where I'm like, you know what, maybe they don't need to remove rarity. Of course they still do, right? They still need to remove rarity for like currency drops, but it was to a point where I didn't feel bad or I didn't feel pressured to actually build rarity into my gear because like I was doing rogue exile farming, which is a new way of actually making money this league, and it doesn't require any rarity. Of course, if you have rarity, you can get other currency while doing it and boosts it. But I was fine with just doing it normally. And even before I was doing rogue exiles, I was just running random like delirium plus breach plus abyss maps, and like delirium shards were going, splinters were going for like 100 for a div, which is crazy. Breach was
Still
going
are,
for
by
like,
the way.
yeah, they still are. Yeah, because nobody's doing delirium because you can't instill your maps anymore. So nobody's getting the splinters, nobody's getting that stuff. So it was just a very good way to get passive income, guaranteed passive income, and you didn't have to do anything special for it. Same with breach splinters; they were 160 to a div, like like easy to get. You
And
just
all the
do.
little things, the ring quality things, those
Oh
all
yeah, the
sell for
catalyst
bank right
worth
now
a
still
lot.
too.
Like
Catalyst,
Still
yeah.
are. Breach is a moneymaker.
yeah,
It's great.
it's like on top of the baseline for drops. It's like the league mechanics and the drops from the league mechanics actually are worth money. It goes back to your whole
Yeah.
thing about ground loot and everything. Like everything, there's a lot of value out there to be had where you can just play the game normally
Yes.
without like doing anything special. You don't have to juice rarity. You don't have to juice tablets. Like I was alky and going tablets. I didn't care, and I
Same.
was still
Yeah,
getting
same.
like really good value. Like I was still getting drops. I was getting tinks. Like one day I got like, I think it was like in one map I got like a divine and a freaking omen of light in the same drop, or like double abyssal echoes. Like they were, the abyss monsters were goddamn paying out. It was crazy.
This
Yeah,
league
I think I've seen
felt
3 Omen of Lights this league already, so I'm feeling it.
this league overall feels so much better when it comes to that, because it's not too much as well, right? You don't think like, oh, it's so much that I don't get excited anymore about the drops, right? I always talk about this, like that magic that an ARPG can have when it comes to loot dropping, like
I wonder what
like
game
Diablo
he's going to
2.
talk about.
Um, And it just felt like so much more than that. And that goes back to my last point again. Let's see how good it feels now after a few days of what it is now, because everyone's now just gonna compare it to like the Jews temple, right? And I got super mad, no, not super mad today. I got really frustrated on my stream today because I wasn't doing the Holten thing. I wasn't doing the temple, whatever. I tried to set up my temple the normal way and whatever. And it's just like, it's all people talk about. At least in my stream, I know there's a whole sphere of people who don't care about this stuff, and
I'm
those
sorry
people
I
are
troll
probably
you sometimes. I
much
poke your
happier.
buttons every once in a while when you're
That's fine.
ranting.
That's fine. That's fine. And it's like, it's all people are gonna talk about, because yes, before this, damn, adding to breach to your map felt awesome because you got so many breach blenders, and then you did Zesht, and you got even more catalysts, and Zesht has like a very good drop pool, and you get breach rings, and then you sell the catalyst, and you can even most of the time you just get your money back through the catalyst, and then you can run Zesht again. And Abyss was paying out, and Ritual was really good, and like Miso said, Delirium was really good. The Rogue Exile strat, Sekima is still awesome. Like even Trial of Chaos is amazing, with like the Edoin now being over 100% is probably like hundreds of divs, and the Last Flame is now incredibly expensive in Sekimas and stuff. But this goes back to my point now. That is why these things that happen when there's like a economy breaking thing happening, that is why those things are so bad, because it devalues everything else immediately. And now it's just gonna be the Temple League. And I'm just sad about that, because we actually had like a super, super good state. It was awesome. The state was awesome. I had like multiple jobs all the time, where multiple strats. I, like Miso said as well, I didn't really care about like the whole strategy or what the best strategy is. I like regex searched on my tablets. I did like always Abyss, and then I did like rarity or like effectiveness on tablets, and then I did breach and looked for effectiveness or rarity or whatever on tablets, and then irradiate a tablet. I didn't do more, and then I just plopped the tablets in there, and I went, and it was, look, it felt amazing. And then just citadels from time to time or whatever. And now it's gonna be devalued a little bit. I know I'm harping on a lot about this, but it just I'm a fan of having the feeling that everything works like a little bit. And I just see a lot of people in my stream that are very frustrated about this too, because especially they don't have the time to invest to then have these like giga juiced amazing strategies to play. And yeah, I'm breaking a lance for all the dad gamers today, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, it doesn't affect us as streamers. Like, it really doesn't affect us, because we're gonna be able to play, like, again, here's the other thing to take away from this too, that, for anybody who is too unhappy, they're like, I don't want to do temple, right? That's completely fine. You don't have to do temple. Like, you
Nope.
actually, the thing is, because even though like it feels like people are getting so much money off of temple, well, economy is also inflating like crazy as well, and you're like, oh shoot, if I don't play temple, I'm not going to get it. Like, you can sell stuff to the people who are playing temple. Like, the economy is going up, everything's inflating, right? So if you go and do, like, I don't know, find a Rakiata's flow, right, that is going to be proportionally inflating as well. And you can't get a Rakiata's flow when you're doing temple, right? If you're just doing temple all day, you can't get it. So it's like, it's not like all doom and gloom in that sense, but it really does suck for people who don't play that much, where their characters aren't at a point where they can actually start farming those things. Like, you can't go and do like, again, a delirium. You can't do like, go and boss hop, or like, pinnacle hop. Like, it ends up being that those who will suffer the most. We're gonna be fine.
Rogue Exiles are a scam, by the way.
I don't know.
Miso's
I've
baiting
been
me.
getting paid out.
I won't
I've
let
been
them bait
getting
me
paid out.
again.
The thing is,
funny.
you need a bigger sample size than just 10. But I don't know. The other day before I left, I got like,
I know I have bad luck, but it just
I'm a witness. I was sitting in the train going home from like Christmas family stuff. I was sitting in the train. I was watching Miso stream on my phone, and he got 3 3 Lich Point infused Rogue Exiles in one map.
Yeah.
In one map.
Yeah,
You
in
just-
one map.
My experience, I sent them a clip of me like loading into a map, taking 2 steps in, and there was 2 Rogue Exiles right at the front, and there was like obviously no abyss there. It's just, that is my experience doing it. Is just, they're not even near the abysses for me. Like, it's just always. So question about it: do you only do specific maps? Like, are you looking for specific layouts for it? You just YOLO it?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think layouts actually help. And Fubgun also says that he doesn't think layouts help either. It's more of it.
Gotcha.
Because if you think about it this way, right? The Abyss Atlas, it says like, 50% increased chance for the Rogue Exile to be Lich Point, right? So it's more of a numbers thing rather than like a how much, surface area that abysses are covering. Because what it is just like, even if you have the entire map covered by abysses, if there's just one spot that's not covered by abyss, they could just spawn that Rogue Exile there every single time, right? So it's not about like, sense. We're gonna have the map be covered, and then the Rogue Exiles don't spawn first, and then it's a numbers thing.
After,
it's a you flip a coin, and if it lands heads, the Rogue Exile will be in the abyss. If you flip the coin, it's tails, sense. Rogue Exile will not be in the abyss, rather than that's like smart. Determined by the map itself.
That's good. That's good design, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just got really bad luck then. I think I've done it twice now. I've done 2 sets of 10, and I've gotten 0 Heart of the Wells. All of my Heart of the Wells have just been from random mapping with Abyss.
Interesting. Again, that's a long time to go without
seems to be super hit or miss because I've had people like it is so weird. It seems like such a weird effect on that strategy because it's either people are saying, "Oh my god,
They swear by
we're
exactly,
getting."
dude.
It's so funny, and it's like almost like they wanna. For like a day or two, I was thinking it's so bad that people just don't want to suffer
Buy the
alone and want to bait
tablets.
other people into it or something and want to like it's like a pump and dump scheme and they just want to not
I
be
thought
back
that too,
holders
dude.
on the tablets. But it seems like it's either super good or super bad. So
Yeah.
it's
I
very
So
funny.
had no luck with it.
For me it wasn't good as well. But I've seen it. I've seen it with my own two eyes work for people. I saw Red Vials do like very, very good currency with that.
It
And
seems
Miso
like it's
now
really
currency
good,
based.
consistent money if it works. Like,
yeah,
Heart of the Wells still go for a lot.
they do. I
Just
mean,
for people listening, once again, because sometimes we do like topics where we explain something that we obviously know about. What we're talking about is there's a thing in the game that when you have abysses in your maps and a rogue exile spawns onto the abyss, it has a chance to be influenced by the abyss, and then it drops the Heart of the Well diamond unidentified. And those go for like a few divines. Depending on the rolls on it, whether you sell it unidentified or you then do the rolls on it yourself, the Heart of the Well can be like an incredibly expensive item. So that is what people have been farming. And then there's ways on your tablet to have like guaranteed rogue exiles in the map. So it has been a strategy already in the last league, and it is once again a strategy in this league. And apparently, it's one of the most hit or miss strategies around. So
I love that. I love it. So the thing is, in Path of Exile 1, I did cloister farming. I don't know, Rabbit, if that was around when you were playing it, but it's for divination card stacks, and I would like do that and just open the divination card stacks and just gamble on it. And basically, like
yeah,
sometimes I'd hit, sometimes I miss, right? But the Heart of the Well is basically it hits the same dopamine for me, like where it's like,
yeah.
oh, I could sell these unidentified, but you know what? I'm gonna go identify them, and if we get something big, we are gonna pog out. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
But
my whole like standpoint on selling things unidentified is if you find
Never.
something on the ground and it could be like I found the vertex mask today and I could have just sold it uncorrupted for 20 div. No.
nope.
my 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 standpoint is I have to do the corrupt
Yeah, you
myself
have
because
to.
if you find it
Yeah.
on the ground, you're not losing anything. You're not losing anything.
If you
If you
ever
find
sell
that
a
Heart of
Prism
the
of
Well,
Belief, it's a
yes.
Spark +3, unidentified.
If
If you sell it
if you
unidentified,
find it
you
on the
fucked
ground,
yourself.
if you find the Heart of the Well on the ground, the gamble is free. Everything you get afterwards
Worth it.
is a plus.
Worth it.
Selling unidentified.
And also, I just want to answer something in chat. Uncovering was saying that, oh, are you sure that the map doesn't matter? Like the more coverage doesn't matter. So because he was using the +4 abyss chance on your tablet, it seemed to help. Those do help actually. Getting more abyss on your map does help, but it's again because you're adding abysses. Now the number, like instead of being like 2 out of a 10 chance to get a rogue exile that's in the abyss, now it's a 3 out of 10 chance. Again, it's not about how much of the map it covers, but it's about like the calculations. So the map itself and the size doesn't go into the calculation, but the number of abysses does go into the calculation because the more abysses
So it
you
doesn't
have
matter
in
if
your
you're
map.
doing
Hmm?
So it doesn't matter if you're doing Savannah or one of the tower maps. They'll have the same roll range no matter what.
It'll be the same no matter what app you do, but it's like if you add more abysses, right? Then the calculation shifts to be more in your favor.
Makes sense. That's a smart way to do it.
Yeah, good league so far. Other than the weird temple
Speaking of maps,
Holten stuff.
the layouts. Have you guys really felt the layout changes? Like some of them are so much better. Like some of them have been like they're no longer loops that you can end up in. Some of them still are, but a lot of them got trimmed down and are way more easy to find the boss, I guess is the way to put it.
Intuitive, I would also say. It's just like
intuitive.
A lot of the maps just feel so much more intuitive now, which is like a very, very positive change. I think overall mapping feels so much better like that. It also seems like some of the apps that people don't really like, the hidden grottos, the sun temples, they seem even less now. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of maps now where I think it's much nicer. It depends a little bit. You can probably avoid them if you want to. I usually
It's because some
sometimes you
temples
have
are
these
like location
pathways where
based. They're only
yeah,
around
true.
citadels.
Citadels. Yeah, exactly. And then you kind of have to do them, but like overall, I feel like the mapping experience is very, very nice this league. I just can't wait what they have in store to further improve the endgame loop. Yes, but the mapping feels much more intuitive right now. On top of the whole removing tediousness from map crafting, it just feels like Alk and Go is actually the Alk and Go enjoys are feasting well this league, which I am actually one of. I really like doing like the whole efficiency and whatever, and but at the same time, I just love to also just play the game. That is like my whole thing all the time. I just want to play the game. I enjoy actually playing the game. I enjoy zooming through maps and on whatever build. That is what I most enjoy. I'm not a big crafter. I'm like I've used crafting obviously um to make currency or whatever, but I really like playing the game, and this was an overall very, very positive league so far when it comes to just like playing the game. Because also a positive thing about the temple, it's not intrusive at all. The thing in the maps is not intrusive at all. You just get the charges passively. You don't really have to do anything else. And then the temple is basically just the setting up right now is definitely tedious because of all the stuff that we don't know that isn't handed to us. But I think eventually the temple can be super, super nice because it is just more playing the game and you just progress further a little bit. I would kind of compare it a little bit at least to Delve. So because you like keep on progressing, it gets harder and harder and harder, and you keep progressing. There just need to be some tweaks like that. Um, I'm complaining a lot about this league. At the same time, I enjoy this league a lot, and it will keep me playing for the next few months easily. Especially when I go into SSF, especially when I go into hardcore SSF, or even do a private league with some other streamers or whatever. Yeah, I'm like I'm overall very, very positive. And you shouldn't like confuse me ranting about certain stuff or whatever with me being unhappy with the league. I'm not. I'm not. I just think there was some weirdness to it. Let's just say it
I
like
think
that.
it's bad. It comes off as like, I don't want to. Maybe it is bad business practice, but oh, this patch doesn't have that GG. Like there are everyone always complains that like league mechanics release undertuned and stuff like that, but this is not that. This is unfinished, and this is like this is super super duper undercooked, and that's just doesn't it just that's this leaves a salty taste in the mouth. But like the league overall is freaking awesome. Like I would say I'm having more fun this patch than any other patch for sure. Miso, I have a question. We haven't talked about the tablets in a while. Now that we have the new, or excuse me, specifically towers. Like how are you feeling about towers now? After we've settled on a new league with the new tower changes, and now we have the new rare tablets. Like before, I think even after the original tower changes, everyone was still like, towers gotta go. They don't work. They yada yada. What are your thoughts on towers currently?
I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem with towers in this current state, but at the same time, I still feel like, and I said this last league too, there's not really much to do with towers. Like, there's not really a reason to run them unless you're really doing a grand pro. So there's like a couple things, right? So if you are looking there, I mean, I guess there are some functionalities to it. Like, for example, if I am looking for like Jade Isles, if I see a tower near the water, I'll probably go rush towards it and just see if it's worth it to explore in a certain direction or whatever. So there's that. But unless you're doing that or like trying to progress through the map atlas quickly, there's not like that much reason for you to run it other than like putting down a grand project. So I would still like to see if they keep towers. I would like to see them add more functionality to it other than just grand project and giving vision. I would like there to be like a specific reason why I would run a tower. Like, not like basically everybody has a reason to run the tower. No matter what strat you're doing, no matter how you're farming, like there is gonna be a reason why you need to run the tower. That to me is where I want to see towers going if they do decide to keep it. But overall, state of the balance of like tablets and everything, I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with the changes, and as we were mentioning earlier. So, yeah, I'd like to see them flesh it out a little bit more.
So it's no longer just like intrusive to you though, because before it was just towers was the number one thing people bitched about with mapping.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a problem with tower. Like like I said, I don't even think there's an incentive to run them a lot of times.
Gotcha. You feel the same, Rabbit?
No, I do think there's an incentive to run it. I mostly when there's the map, I'm going towards a map stage where the atlas isn't revealed, because I think this the goal is still the same on the atlas, that the main goal is finding like corrupted areas, cleansed areas, and citadels, and these Jade Out maps, or like any of the special maps. So I always go to like, mostly when I try to discover like a new area of the atlas or whatever, I mostly just go to a tower first, because it's basically, the tower is just basically another map now that makes it easier to traverse the atlas a little bit. I wouldn't say it's like a very, very special thing. It's just like, yeah, it's a map now that makes you able to see more of your atlas. And I'm always just, when it comes to straight up mapping, I'm just always looking for corrupted areas to cleanse them, and then use the cleansed areas for more loot. So yeah.
Do you ever do corrupted areas?
It depends. If the corrupted area already has one that has +1 to area level, I do a
the monster. Yeah.
I do a eye level 82 map. Otherwise, I just cleanse.
I haven't even been
Miso?
Last league, I also corrupted areas. I never really interact with that much, but last league I did a lot more searching for corrupted areas and trying to cleanse them and play around with it, because rarity, dropping currency. But this league, because I'm not really choosing rarity, I haven't really had a reason to go to those areas. I just right now I'm just mostly citadel hops, like finding citadels, and also finding the anomaly bosses, and then in between, running rogue exiles.
I'm sorry, I'm just smiling like that because on my second monitor, I'm just watching Fopcon stream at the moment. He has 69 rooms in his temple right now, and he just did one of those rooms, one of the 69 rooms in his temple, and he just got 7 divines in one room.
Wow.
I'm gonna need to borrow your vertex. Just I'll hit you up in a week or two, because
that's fine. That's fine.
Price. That's funny.
You're gonna be priced out. I'm not sure if that is like a saying in others, but I've heard that like in like an economic like context. So many people are just getting priced out now. Get ready.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Get ready for being priced out of, like, if you had like
69 rooms left, like
maybe
68 rooms left.
Maybe in like 2 weeks in this league, I'll be able to play like a Temporalis build, or maybe I'll be able to play like a build with like a cool Corrupted Covenant or like a Vertex Helmet.
So question, so he has the 69 rooms set up. He does a full run of them. How many more maps does he have to do before he can redo the set? Is there a destabilization immediately, and he has to do like 12 to 18 maps before he can go back in? Or
way
is
it works right
back
now,
in?
You can basically guarantee that 99% of the rooms that you want and that are upgraded and that are giving you this amount of juice are gonna stay. And one temple.
So he literally just does 6 maps, and he's literally back into another 69 room run.
No, he doesn't even have to do maps, because he could just do Holten. He does Holten for 30 minutes.
In theory, though, you just got to get the 6 juice, and you're immediately doing those 69 maps again, back to back to back.
Mostly, yeah, mostly. You're not losing more maps than you can add.
That's a problem.
Because the meta right now is like getting a bunch of spy masters, which will give you a lot of lock medallions, and then you just use it and lock everything, and just keep going.
Yeah.
150 div.
People are even skipping rooms and everything. It's like
yeah, for sure. You wouldn't do the rooms with the high effectiveness and stuff, like some of the rooms. It makes sense.
Like the whole thing is, this is only possible because you could just do 50 temples in a day, because you can get the crystals so fast. This wouldn't have been what like a lot of the streamers, and once again, I'm not saying like this is like a bad thing, because I truly understand, and I understand why it's so fun, 100%. But this whole setup that some streamers are doing now, this would have taken like weeks or more
Yeah,
to even
months.
set up.
No, it would have taken. It would
Because
have
you can
taken
just
longer.
reroll, and it's
Because like Cute Dog has
Because
been doing it
they're
since
able
the
to
beginning, and his temple looks nothing like some of these like super juice temples.
Yep.
Yeah, you're able to solve stuff faster, solve problems faster when you have this many people all in there at once, finding problems, finding like the mathematical ways to break things and stuff like. Yeah, it's the frequency of it has a way more of an impact. Yeah, that's a problem. That's really bad. I didn't realize it was 69 rooms per run, and he's getting 7 divs in a single room. I have one last question before we wrap things up. I want to talk about defensives because I've seen we have very different experiences, Rabbit. I don't know how bad the energy shield nerfs was, or if it's just related to the build you're playing. But I've seen you say like in your chat say quite a few times this patch feels more rippy to you, and to me it's the opposite. I feel tankier than I've ever been before. As like
Witch
an
Hunter.
armor.
You're playing Witch Hunter.
Well, yeah, I'm playing Witch Hunter too. Sorcery Ward is freaking cracked. I'm
Yes.
also playing. I have a Thorns character that's a Smith of Katava though, which Smith is also busted, and a Shaman too, which was also busted. But I'm curious if Miso's having the same experience. But can you like elaborate? Because I don't play ES characters as much as you. Like, what has changed that makes it feel more? Is it like is ES itself been nerfed too much, or is it just the maps being too much damage? Because I personally feel pretty tanky,
Did
but I
ES
don't
get
know what happened
nerfed?
to ES.
I don't think ES got nerfed.
Didn't GGG say
Some
they
of the
were
ES
nerfing it
values
slightly?
got nerfed, but calling it nerfed
Okay.
is too much. Some
Yeah.
values got adjusted down a little bit. It is slightly worse apparently than last league. ES is still amazing. It's still amazing.
It's still number one, it looks like to me. But when you're
Yeah.
doing like the soul tether cheeses and stuff, for sure.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? Like, do you think like why does it feel rippy to you then? Is it that the enemies are like you're juicing harder or something?
For some reason, I thought we were on Misa. I think it's just they did the whole monster density thing, and
Effectiveness
they
of
reduced
mobs, they hit harder.
they reduced the amount of mobs overall, but the mobs that still exist have more effectiveness, which also means they are just stronger. And this goes for a lot of stuff. 100%, I will die on this hill. This patch is much more rippy. You feel I have people I've played the last build I played now and the build now, they would have never died last league in most maps. It is much more rippy now. There's stuff like bleed is crazy this league. Ignite, when you get ignited by mobs, is crazy this league. And then it's just like not even just map bosses, but especially map bosses. Sometimes it's just like poof, 7,000 energy shield, full res, you're dead. Doesn't matter. Yes, there are exceptions, Sorcery Ward or Smith of Kitava or whatever, but 100% the league is more rippy. This 100%. I think if I do a poll in my community and ask people, do you feel like you die more this league in maps than last league? They 100% will say yes. I will die on that hill.
So like, I don't like
which is not necessarily a bad thing, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not trying to refute anything you're saying, but to me, like Ignite is just bugged. Like it's overvalued. Like that's just going to be a numbers tweak. Everyone's dying to that. Like on one of my characters, I'm running the Ignite immunity passive on the bottom side of the tree. Like that's how bad Ignite is. So I agree, Ignite is fucking stupid right now. But that's just like, to me, that's just like a weird anomaly.
Really interesting. I just run a dowsing charm. I haven't had any problems with Ignite really.
Me too now. Yeah, I also run a dowsing charm now. It's much better since then.
I haven't tried running dousing, but I also haven't died too much to Ignite. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I picked Smith and Sorcery Ward is just really good right now, so I haven't been noticing the rippiness as much. But I feel like armor stacking is really good this patch, as well as life leech. By the way, if you're life stacking with leech, it is very powerful this patch. Like I feel like if you're playing a life leech build, you're doing really good.
I don't think the mobs being harder is necessarily a bad thing, especially if we want more meaningful combat in maps or whatever, with like rare monsters being a little bit more beefy and being a little bit more dangerous. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's actually a good thing. What I just dislike, and what I think most people just dislike, is the untelegraphed zip you're dead stuff,
or like the super little tiny things on the screen. It's like a size of like a little dot, and it kills you.
That is just if I can't do anything about it, if I can do 0, 0, 0, 0 about it, it's just unfun to die in that way. It will happen sometimes, but it just happens a lot these days. I just had today 2 times, by the way, today. I played the Vaal City map where Viper is the map boss, and she does like this the serpent
Yeah,
the
the Serpent's
serpent
Fury.
Kamehameha in front. And since she's a map boss and she's juiced up or whatever, it's like 600% projectile speed. And I clipped it today on my stream. It's undodgeable. It's undodgeable. I was full life, everything. I had, I think, 7,800 energy shield, 2,000 life, full reses, like the Oracle Ascendancy with the less damage hits against you are unlucky, and the less crit damage on you. And it's just one shot dead. Nothing to do about that. And I think that is a little bit unfun. There needs to be like telegraph stuff.
Really?
Because
Because I feel the
fully
opposite.
Yeah?
Like you just said, you just did a map with the increased attack speed. Like you you chose to do a really hard map, right? So like maybe
Yeah.
it's hitting a little too hard
I
and too
understand
fast,
that.
but maybe you're
Yeah.
built like maybe yeah, I don't know what I'm saying.
I
agree that
fully
like,
accept.
if you can't survive it, that's a problem because you put so much money
Yeah.
in min maxing into your build. So I guess that is a fair comparison.
I
point.
fully accept the thing that sometimes, yes, maps should be hard and everything. I I just think like if it happens over if I die 5 times and 4 out of these 5 times I have no idea what even happened,
Right. Yeah.
that's just a little bit bad. I at least want to know, like, oh yeah, I fucked up there, or like, oh, I could have dodged that, or whatever. But truly, I even said this on my stream today. For every single death that I have in maps now, I go back to the tape and I watch, like, wait, did I fuck up? And I have to say, most of the time, it's like I don't even know what happened there. It was like a ground explosion, or it was like something I don't know. And I think that is just a little bit. People are always asking for a death recap or whatever. I just want to know what happened when I die. I fully accept that some of the deaths as well is just gonna be skill issue or me being old as
sure.
fuck and not being able to dodge that. I accept that, but it just feels like this league. There's a lot of instances where it's just like poof, dead. Nothing to be done about that.
Death recap's not the solution right now. Like
No.
to me, if it's game's gonna like the problem is the telegraph of the skills for sure. Like a lot of deaths are just like, oh, I didn't even see this coming. That what makes that worse is one portal. Like we've talked about multiple portals before. They're forcing one portal into a game like that is way harder when it comes to like death punishment, like and telegraph these deaths. Like it's just it wouldn't feel as awful if when you had that bullshit death, you got at least one attempt. But everyone wants to juice their maps as much as possible, so you're only ever going to have the one attempt. So like when the solution is do one less modifier, like no one's ego or is going to let them not do most juice maps, right? Everyone wants to do the hardest maps, and yeah, it's definitely not fully a skill issue. You know, it is. There's a lot of bullshit telegraph deaths. Then I feel like if we had 2 deaths, 2 portals, that would be a lot easier. But you know, maybe get good is what I need to be telling myself. I agree though that yeah, the telegraph attacks are a problem. Miso, how have you been defensively? What are you even been playing?
I mean, I literally have been on my league starter until yesterday. I've been playing.
What are you doing? Armor stacking?
On my league starter, yeah. So I was armor stacking on it, but it's like I couldn't really armor stack that much because Wyvern Flame Breath is an interesting position, at least where I am on the tree with Gemling. It's like you want, because Flame Breath slows you down, you want a lot of movement speed. At the same time, the skill itself doesn't have a very long range, so you kind of have to get a little tanky because like you can't reach beyond a certain point. It got a little bit better over time as I started Herald stacking, like Herald what is it, Herald chaining and stuff like that. But at first it was just like you need movement speed. The damage itself isn't great. You have to build armor, but it's like it's hard to get everything that you needed, right? So I ended up with a character that was like 2.7k life with about 23k armor. And I could definitely min max it more and get maybe closer to 3k health and like get more armor and stuff like that. But I mean, overall, at the end of the day, it did end up feeling fine. But there were definitely times where I just get one shot by like a boss just like that. And so But I do know that there is some really good defensive stuff. Like I was watching Carnarius, he did basically almost like a full LE conversion to where like 80% of the damage he was taking was converted to LE.
That belt's sick too.
Yeah, and he's using like gore girdle or something like that, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And like just
Defend with 200% armor or something.
200% armor, 50% PDR, like damage reduction, physical damage reduction maximum, but like you block with 200% of your armor, which applies to the elemental block. So or applies elemental protection or whatever it's called. Armor applies to elemental, and so it's like since most of the things are coming at him with 80% of converted to elemental, he was just like blocking like crazy amounts of damage, like getting a crazy amount of damage reduction. So that was really cool. I know that the perfidy chest seems pretty decent too. I don't know if any of you guys have looked at that chest at all, but it gives you a up to 30% chance to avoid each type of like elemental, like fire, cold, lightning, chaos, like yeah. So it's like that also seems pretty good. Or not avoid, but like reduce the. I think actually it might have been avoid, or reduce, either one. I might just look it up right now, but there is some pretty good stuff options for you to actually go and get some good protection, layers of protection this league, on top of just like leech and stuff like that.
Always wear protection.
You guys
That's
make-
what Miso is saying.
Yeah, it's a void.
Always protect yourself. Yeah, you guys made. I didn't realize the effectiveness change makes sense. How like, there's less mobs, the power gets put to those individual mobs. They weren't scaled properly to have that much power or something. So definitely makes sense with when you put in that perspective. I have not had any issues bossing, but it's funny that the variants that map bosses can have. It's just like, and it doesn't really like. I don't understand it. It's like I haven't like done like 4 Rust Kings in a row to see if there's variance in his individual life, but like I'll be going through maps and like I'll do one map and the boss will have 3 million life, and the next map the boss will have 15 million life. And I don't understand, like, in the map modifier isn't what's juicy. Like, I don't. It's not like I have like 300% increased maximum life on that waystone, right? Like, I really don't know what happens with map bossing, because sometimes, like, I guess when I do die to a map boss, it's because like my brain's been off for a bunch of 3 million bosses, and then out of nowhere there's a 14 million boss that like just out of nowhere. I don't know where that's like. Do you guys have that variance where it's just like suddenly there's a boss that's just like 5 times more life than the previous map bosses?
Yep. And I think it's like interesting as well. The variance of like the health doesn't really, it's not that big of a deal to me, because I'm like, it's like depending on the mods, things has changed or whatever. But like for me, it's like interesting because sometimes I'll go into a map boss and like it feels like it takes me forever to kill them, even though they have like, it's like sometimes I'll go and do 7 mil damage in like a second and a half, but sometimes it'll take me 10 seconds to do 7 mil damage, and I'm
Shrines?
not really.
Shrines?
No. I think
No?
it's probably
Yeah.
because of Rockiatas, is my guess. Like maybe I go into like a map and there's like a plus 50% elemental resistance modifier or something like that, and everything just dying quickly. But there's definitely, and also I guess Delhi also multiplies that too. So there's been
doing Delhi on maps right now also is so
it's
rippy.
very rippy.
Like
It's very rippy.
The delirium, like the shades or whatever that come out of the mobs that just are in the air. And dude, like that.
The 3 fire lines.
I've given up. Like every time I get a delirium mirror, like randomly now in my maps, I just don't do it.
Really?
I just don't do it because it's so rippy. I don't know.
I think the last time I did Delirium was a death that I had to. Like one of the map bosses just spawned out of nowhere, and he instantly did his axe swipe, and I was dead, just like in a quarter second. I was like, oh, okay, I'm done with Del.
Yep.
Del was definitely rippy. I take back what I said. Del was super rippy. Yeah, I stopped fully running Del, because I remember like one day I was like, holy shit, Del's like, because I like doing Simulacrum 3, but Del splinters were so fucking expensive. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna farm Delve, and then after like a full cycle of tablets, I was like, oh yeah, These guys are hitting so hard. The bosses
best-
specifically.
the best is
And then
when-
you lose everything. You don't get
Yeah.
splinters, nothing.
Nope, you don't get
Yeah, you don't
anything.
get any of it. Yeah.
The best is when it's you're running deli and you hit into abyss, and then you get the mob that duplicates itself like 4 times, and then they're all just like
Oh, yeah.
slamming those flame slashes
Yeah.
at you. I was like, "What is going on?" And I was like, freaking bullet hell dodging everything.
It actually
right, I'm
though
wrong.
made me.
Rippy patch,
It
for
actually
sure.
a very positive thing about that though is it made me like start to theory craft a very tanky build now. I have something cooking up. It is gonna be energy shield, by the way. I
Oh,
have
what a
something cooking up
surprise.
that I don't think will ever die to anything, but it will.
Hell
It
yeah.
will take a little bit more. There's like very specific gear that I need that I'm like preparing in the background right now. So it's gonna
Oracle
be fun.
again.
No.
Nice.
If I
I'm
say
excited. I've
say
been
what
waiting
it
for you to
is,
level something. No, don't spoil anything.
if
I've
I
just been
say
waiting for you to level
what
something new.
ascendancy it is, it will already spoil it. It's not Oracle.
Yeah, I wanted to know if you were doing it on a new character because you've been on the Oracle the whole time, and I've been waiting for you to reroll. Not as much as me. Don't reroll as much as me. That's That's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, go fig. Yeah.
I think it's crazy that I've been on my build for this long though. I don't know. I had a lot of fun.
I'm surprised.
min-maxing it.
Yeah.
I
You're
would
usually
still
like
be
a 1 week Andy like me.
Yeah, I would still be playing it, to be honest, if it wasn't for content. Like I had a lot of fun with it, and I still am enjoying it a lot.
That's awesome. I feel the same about my like if we were to do the private league with alcohol, I feel the same way about Whirling Assault right now. Whirling Assault's just like I love farming on my Whirling Assault Witch Hunter. I'd probably do it on a Titan for if we did a fresh start, but that's how I feel like with that build. Like anytime I need currency, I go play that build just because it's such a fun time to play. I've done 3 Whirling Assault characters, by the way. I did a Whirling Assault Oracle that was doing cast on crit stuff. I did the Whirling Assault Witch Hunter, and my Thorns character is using Whirling Assault because it's a strike. It's one of the few
But-
strikes you can put barbs into.
By the way, perfect example of how impactful it is for GGG to look at a skill that is bad now,
Yeah.
and they changed it, and people love it, and it's good. Do
It's
it
super
for it.
popular,
Do
by
it
the
to
way.
other
Everyone's
skills.
playing Whirling Assault builds.
Do
Yeah,
it to other skills, please. There's so many in here that with like some tweaks like that will be amazing. There are so many in here. Like this is perfect example. We got 1 now with Whirling Assault. There's so many more. Hex Blast. Give me a good Hex Blast. I want to play ED Contagion into then something big.
Oh, Hex Blast used to be
Blasty.
good.
Hex Blasty.
It used to be
Yeah, Hex Blast used to be awesome. Like the whole idea about it is awesome that you like build up stuff to then
good.
I want that.
Yeah, I mean, my
Yeah,
current
that's a
character is
perfect example.
probably gonna be a Whirling Assault character too. Like,
Hell
it's I want to make Gathering Storms work as a clear ability, but I'm not confident. So it's probably gonna devolve down to Whirling Assault at some point.
You're a fellow Cyclone bro, and I like it's not full Cyclone feel, but it's the closest taste you have in PoE 2. It feels really nice when you have the clear screen wide clears. I'm liking it a lot. Yeah, it's a good example. I think going forward, Whirling Assault is the perfect example of a skill that GGG it only might take a couple tweaks to bring a skill on live and make it just very fun. And it's not like it's absurdly overpowered. It probably is going to get its range nerfed a little bit, I would imagine, but at most that would be what it is, you know. It's really cool. Any other honorable mention or anything else we want to talk about the patch before we wrap up? Before we go and build a week? Well, I guess we were supposed to do a look back at 1 year of PoE 2 for a few weeks now, and there's just too much topical stuff to talk about. So I guess I completely forgot that was a topic. Yeah, whatever. It was a fun year.
It was a good time.
Good time. Next
Good
year's gonna be a lot
times.
better, I assume.
Good
I hope it
times.
gets better and better.
I just had my 1 year anniversary yesterday of uploading my first ever YouTube video. So
there it is.
exactly one year ago yesterday, I uploaded my first PoE 2 YouTube video. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, 12 months.
It's been a wild ride, hasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I'm sitting here with Christmas decorations taped to my headphones. I was doing an Atziri cosplay 2 weeks ago, bare chested. I have a Vaal orb tattoo on my chest right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's safe to say it has been a wild ride. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You ready for build of the week, Miso?
Yes, indeed, I am.
All right, we'll dive into my build. I have previously shown a JTX build before.
My boy JT,
this
shout outs
is
to him. He is a friend of the channel.
Yeah, JT is awesome. He is awesome. This build is really cool. It is a bow build on a blood mage. And what I like about it is just like I've always loved bleed and ailment builds, and I think anyone who does ailment builds wants this. You know, you hit a boss once and that happens. Like that is just everyone's dream from an ailment build. I've wanted to do this with snipe many patches, and yeah, this is just like this just shows you like when you commit to a build, what you can do with it, like just pushing it to its limits and stuff. Yeah, I don't know, it's cool. I love blood mage builds. I love
Hey,
that
that's
it's not
sick.
on, and yeah, it's awesome. It's build of the week. It's my choice for a reason. It's so cool. Yeah, Jay really cooked on this one. It is a blood mage with a bow, so it's not playing Pathfinder or Deadeye. He's using a lot of cool uniques. He's got the Heat Shiver, which you gain % of extra damage based off of the chill magnitude you have on the boss. He's also using the it's called the Sign gloves that for the immobilization build up.
Yeah, a lot of people are using those. I think it's one of the most popular gloves right now.
Yeah, very, very good. They think they were like popular week 1 because of very good tactician builds, and then yeah, now a lot of builds are using them. And,
Also, Wolf.
yeah, it's just really cool build.
everything.
Oh yeah, Wolf builds did too. But yeah, I love ailment builds. And I've always wanted to do an ailment build of snipe. Like snipe is one of those skills that was just like always had the appeal for me, and just never committed it to. And like this is exactly what I would have loved to have done. Like look at the damage. Like that is just so awesome. That's Uber Arbiter. That's Uber Arbiter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm leveling a witch as we speak.
Yeah.
It's a really cool build.
Yeah, my boy JTX, he was doing Spiral Volley when I was doing my Spiral Volley build. He had a bleed Spiral Volley while I had the poison one. So it's kind of like how we got to know each other because we were kind of the two guys making Spiral Volley builds. He does bleed builds every league. He usually does bleed Spiral Volley. He did 0.2, did it 0.3 on Tactician. But this league he's doing bleed on Ice Shot, which is and we were both doing like a snipe one shot setup, like 0.2 too. So yeah, it's cool, dude. Cool builds. Love. Really think he does some really good stuff.
Yeah, I usually I don't know. I'm someone who's got I say I have ADHD brain when it comes to builds. I do actually have ADHD, but I just like to re-roll a lot. But I do like the idea of one day sitting on a build for multiple weeks and just trying to push as far as I can. And that's what this is what you want as the end result, right? This is just every build maker's dream build. I love the results like this, And yeah, I don't know. Bleed's so cool.
Awesome.
I don't know why Bleed's just one of the coolest ailments,
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to Jay. Sick build, man.
Yeah.
And it's just so satisfying. I love that. Like any damaging ailment, even though it's not really a thing that I do a lot or whatever, but I always thought that is one of the coolest things because it's just so cool to see. Oh, there's your name King Konger, by the way, on our screen, by the way. It's just so cool to see. It's so satisfying just to see the health drain. That is, it's so always going to be so cool.
From one big hit too. That's why it makes it so satisfying. Just one snipe and it's just a big ailment. Obviously he did a little bit of prepping for it to get the debuffs up, but
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. What should I call it? I hope there's more ailment builds like this in the future because I really like the ailment playstyle, and being able to do a one big ailment like that is really cool. I know that the people have been playing around with the Atziri Spear. Mathil's doing a build on that where it was also just one-shotting bosses with bleed. So bleed seems to be doing pretty well.
Shout out to Jay. Your build, Miso?
Yeah, so my build is by Phalaris PoE. I don't know if we ever featured him before. but he had a ridiculous bear build that was basically like insta killing bosses almost, and had some crazy screen clear. Like, look at how fast this boss dies. Just instant, right? And then look at this clear. He's doing Herald chaining, of course. But, of course, Bear gets to do Rampage running around, and he's blowing up the entire screen. And I'm just like looking at this, I'm just like, damn, dude. Why doesn't Wyvern get this level of movement speed? And
that's like cooler than like the 0-1 Leap Slam Herald builds. Like, remember those Leap Slam Herald Ice builds that were exploding screens? This is just like 8 times better because you don't stop moving because of Rampage.
Exactly. It's like on top of having insane single target damage, it's also doing insane clear.
Yeah, that clears nuts.
Yeah, and this is like a non-temporalis. I'm sure, Rabbit, your Spark Temporalis is probably doing faster than this. I don't know, but
this looks pretty fast. I don't know.
No, honestly,
this looks really fast.
Not necessarily.
Yeah,
no,
this is fast.
That's not necessarily. No, Temporalis is not necessarily faster than that. And I've
this might be faster than I saw you playing today, to be honest. Like, this guy is
that's just me. I'm old as fuck.
This guy's zooming. This is fast. This is cooked.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, but I think last.
What is that prep? What is he shouting there? He's doing like 4 shouts.
I think he's using it to build up glory. So you can. So right now there's a thing where you can, whenever you spend a certain amount of life, it's like a support gem. I think it like builds you glory, and then on your main attack skill, there's a Legion support gem that gives you 50%, I think, more attack and 50% increased or more AoE or something like that. If you spend glory to activate it, it's pretty insane.
This is sick. This is a crazy build.
I saw this. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? This is a level of clear that I have not seen in this patch. Of course, you have Flub Gun with... Huh?
Oh, that's Headhunter.
Headhunter, yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, of course you have Flub Gun with his, Pounce Werewolf that was also going ham. But I think that this is, this is pretty damn... Because Werewolf, at the end of the day, you got to go Temporalis, and then, like, you have that awkward, like, half a second where you're not pouncing, and this is just super smooth. You're just holding down Rampage, running around, blowing up the entire screen.
This is an awesome build.
I think it's basically like takes a lot of stuff from like what Conquer was doing last year or last league with the Pole Circle and like the Herald chaining, but it's now you can do it on Wolf or on Bear and just make it super smooth.
Yeah. Is it tanky? It looks pretty tanky. He's got like 4K life.
Yeah, 4K life,
1100 shield.
Yeah.
On a Bear, that's tanky as hell too.
Yeah, that's super tanky. That's awesome. Well done. What was he? What did you say his name? Phalaris something?
Yeah, Phalaris PoE.
Phalaris PoE. Shout out to you, man.
904 subscribers, but build popped the hell off. There it is.
Hell yeah. Did you have a build, Rabbit? I don't think I saw one.
I didn't actually.
The build that he's gonna highlight is his Plant Oracle Druid.
Oh yeah, Plant Oracle Druid. Very good build this league. No, it's just between. I'm a little bit swamped these days, but yeah, there's tons of builds out there. I promise I will have 2 next league. There's actually, by the way,
I literally only found this video an hour before we went live. Like, I didn't have one ready; it just happened to show up on my feed. So it's hard to play and watch.
Build diversity in this league. There is a shit ton of build diversity in this league, and the Druid is a big reason for that, and also Varashta. So, like, in terms of build diversity, I couldn't be more excited for the future. If with more ascendancies and more classes, it's gonna be insane. There's gonna be so many things in the niches. I wanted to do a build showcase, but it's a little bit of a spoiler of what I will be doing soon. So there's gonna be something. There's so much cool stuff.
Yeah, this episode did start like pretty negative, but again, we're all very much enjoying this patch. Hopefully we do get a patch this week that addresses the temple. If not, like, there will be people dropping like flies this league, and we'll see what the retention looks like. But yeah, I mean, it's been a blast to play. It's always a blast to talk with you guys. I think our next episode is this Wednesday, and we have Ziggy D on, so that's going to be a fun episode. It's only like 4 days away or something, so or like 5, 6 days. I can't do days. But yeah, let's just end the show here. Thanks for hanging out again, guys. Excited to talk to you guys soon. Rabbit, go ahead and do the shout outs.
Yo, shout out to Kaltorek and Miso X Shiro. They are amazing people. They stream on Twitch and do YouTube stuff. They're amazing. I love them. We are on episode 23 already. Episode 23. Would have never guessed. No, big shout out. This is gonna be the last episode of our year, right? So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Crazy year. I don't know when we started this. I'm always amazed to read comments, and I'm always amazed that people even watch like my content, our content, whatever, and take some joy out of it. It's like it's all like, honestly, this is gonna sound polemic and whatever. I don't care. It's all I could ever ask for. I enjoy this so much. I enjoy my stream so much. I enjoy hearing when people not only enjoy the builds but always also like hang in the stream and like it. Listen to the podcast and they like it. They think like it for this discussion or whatever, or we can be like a positive thing for people to listen to and be like a little bit of a positive thing in a day, especially in like holiday times or whatever. It is awesome to me. I can only say it like that. It is awesome to me, and to do it with people I've never met in real life and are like thousands of kilometers or miles away. It's crazy. We live in crazy times. This is awesome. I love this. That's my shout out.
Well, shout out to both of you guys as well. Thanks for helping making
don't have to
this
do it
year
now.
awesome. Really appreciate y'all. Really appreciate the community, the people that are here, the people that listen to our podcast. It's yeah, I mean, when we started this, we weren't sure if how many people listened. We always say we would be happy to do this even if nobody listened. But it's great that we have people listening and people who are excited and tune in. And whenever I get somebody in the stream, it's like, hey, I really love the podcast. Like, it makes me happy because we really enjoy making it.
Yeah. We've joked a few times that we would hang out to talk about this game even without the podcast, because it's fun to chill with you guys. Of course, shout out to these two as well. It has been an absolute blast doing this podcast with you guys, and to avoid saying the T word, but these guys could have very easily thrown me under the bus during that time, or just completely just like separated themselves from me, and they were the opposite. They were not just supportive, but they were very good friends throughout the entire thing. So I don't just have good PoE buddies. I have good friends. It's been a blast to do this podcast with you guys this last year. And yeah, we got more coming. We got a whole nother year of weekly episodes of the Path to Exile podcast coming, guys. And shout out to Mobilytics, of course. They're the ones who have partnered with us on this podcast, making this thing happen, all the overlays and stuff. But yeah, happy holidays, guys. See you on the new year, and bye.
Peace.